is made by the author, right? And this book, let's say there's a statement from the author external to the author, external to that specific book. These two things would hold equal value. You propose some sort of false dilemma with a anonymous author, right, in a book without external statements. This wouldn't change my point. You just propose a specific other analogy or another possibility that would shore merit. It would not change the fact that this book has equal value to a hypothetical author statement. It doesn't change that specific point. Why does it?
Look,
And
I
why would it change that point?
Yeah, I just want you and everybody to notice that you didn't actually justify why the author's
I
statement.
did just justify it. What?
No, you didn't. All you pointed out was that, hey, these two things have equivalent authority. These two things have equivalent truth value. You didn't ask.
Hold on.
I asked you for the justification. You didn't give an argument.
Yeah. So I'll give you my justification again.
No,
in a different
actually
form.
done taking turns. I thought
I'll give
we
you my
agreed on
justification
taking
again in
turns.
a different
I thought we
form. Why are
agreed
you
on taking
refusing to let me
turns.
give my justification?
I thought we agreed on taking turns.
Yeah, hold on.
So do you
But
want
you
to take
told me
turns or
I
not?
didn't give justification. I want to clarify my justification, right? And I'll give justification
Look, I thought we were taking. If you
in
want
a
to do this
different
for
way, so you
freestyle,
can
then I guess we
understand.
can do a freestyle. Just stop being inconsistent. Go ahead and give your justification.
Yeah, thank you. Right. So, the justification now. The book is derived from the author, correct?
The book is the what?
Derived from the author.
Okay, so what?
You agree with that, right? So, statements within this book is directly correlated to something the author would say because it's the author's creation. Would you agree with that?
Not necessarily. Their opinion could
Unnecessarily.
change.
So are you denying the fact that the author didn't make these
They could write something in the story through a narrator statement that they don't necessarily agree with. They could just leave it ambiguous. No, not necessarily.
Yeah, that doesn't change my. Okay, so when a character says something, like let's say Gojo's explanation, for example, Gojo explains his ability. Where is this explanation derived from?
Yeah, it's derived
Who
from the
who made
narrative.
this
So like,
explanation?
here's like a good example because sometimes I write short stories. Sometimes I write short stories where I have an evil character and the evil character goes on a monologue about how, oh, I think X is right. Murder is okay to do. I'm going to commit murder because I hate these people. He's not actually expressing my thoughts or ideas or what I believe to be correct or the correct interpretation of the work just because it's coming from me. There's still a separation between myself as the author and the narrative and the character. There's still a separation. So no, I don't agree with your presupposition here. It's still not justifying your claim.
Yes,
Sorry.
okay, that doesn't answer my question. You just
How?
dodged it. Again,
How did it not answer your question?
Yeah. I'll ask the question again so you understand.
How is that going to demonstrate that I
Wait. Yeah, because I'm telling you, right? Because my
Oh, so
question
you said it
is,
so
hold
it
on,
must be true?
then answer my question because my question is, right? If Gojo gives an explanation about his ability, this explanation is derived from the author of the series because the idea of this explanation came up by the author himself.
Yeah, I'm saying that's a trivial observation that doesn't actually prove your point that the author is reinforcing this as the correct interpretation or how you should take the meaning of the story. All he's doing is writing it. Doesn't mean he agrees with it. Doesn't mean he's saying that this is specifically how it must be.
Yeah,
those are two separate things. All you're doing is making a trivial observation. So again, if we're talking about the infinity and we're talking about its functionality, you can say that the explanation came from Gege, right? When he wrote for for Gojo to make that dialogue. That doesn't mean that there isn't a separation between Gojo's beliefs on the infinity and Gege's beliefs on the infinity, and that doesn't actually tell us whose authority we should actually be appealing to. Now, me personally, since we recognize the distinction between character, narrative, and author, I'm going to go with the in-source material, the words on the page, as opposed to the author out of story whose opinion on his work is just that, an opinion.
Yeah, his opinion on his own work doesn't apply to his own work?
Not necessarily, no. Again, that's a presupposition you failed like 5 consecutive times.
It's a presupposition that the author's opinion of his work doesn't apply to his work.
Yes, it is. So you can like keep on repeating yourself. Doesn't make you any more
How did a presupposition explain?
Sorry, like again, you're assuming that that's the case without justifying it. By definition, you're assuming the conclusion that the author's opinion on his own work is the authority we should be appealing to. I'm asking you to justify it, and you're just kind of asking me incredulously.
Again, as I said before, that there was no refutation to.
You're just failing.
Yeah,
What's the
again,
proof?
wait, hold on. Your explanation before, right, doesn't change my point of me saying that again. The author of the series makes a statement with it, not a statement within the series, has an idea, and within this idea, a character from the series essentially purports the idea of the author. right?
If I write, okay, go for it. Go for
A
it.
character within the series purports the idea of the author.
Let me
right?
ask you a question. If I write a story, right, and I have Hitler in my story, okay, and I write the dialogue for Hitler. Hitler says the Jewish people control the media, they control the world, so on and so forth. Does that make that quote canon just because I'm the author who's writing it? Does that mean that that's a true statement?
Wait, did you say it's external to the series or internal to the series?
I'm saying, does the fact that I'm externally writing that dialogue make it canon to the series, or could it just be the character's own thought or opinion?
If you explain external to the series, like let's put it this way, right? The book you write about is what? Hitler and the Jews?
Yeah, let's say that again. Like I write a character of Hitler in one of my stories, and Hitler has the personal opinion that Jews are ruining and ruling the world. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that statement true just because I wrote that for Hitler to say?
That my argument has no merit on the truth or whatever. My argument again simply just states. Hold on, my argument again simply just states the things purported within the series is simply something that's projected from the author. Right, the author has an idea, and then this idea is proposed in the series. That's my point.
You're dodging. I mean, it's very clear why you're dodging the question.
Dodging? What?
Because the analogy very clearly illustrates that there's a separation between the beliefs or thoughts of a character and the actual. Yeah, because you're not answering the question. You directly did not answer the question. Because the question I asked you directly illustrates that there is a distinction between the beliefs and thought processes of a character and the author who writes them. There is a separation. There's not a one-to-one comparison. Every author knows
the question.
So
the
again,
question that's being begged here now.
the entire argument that you're making is that these two people, the author
before my
equal
mind
authority because it's one to one. That's a wrong
and I forget
argument.
everything
I've
you
already
said.
demonstrated this. I've already
the question
demonstrated.
being begged here. Oh my gosh.
What question is being begged?
You're talking and made me forget your initial point.
Being
Okay,
begged?
wait,
What
hold on.
Go ahead and justify the begging the question.
Please, can I just ask a question pertaining to this? Right.
No,
so
you
the
said
question
I'm
being begged
begging the
here.
question.
The belief. Hold on.
I'm begging the
The
question.
author hasn't. Oh my gosh.
Why are you running? You just called out a fallacy.
I'm literally pertaining to the first analogy you made. I'm trying to go through. I'm trying to attack that specific thing first. Like what the fuck?
So are you dropping the point that I was begging the question?
You proposed the idea that again.
You're dropping that I was begging the question.
Hold on. The author's external statement is just simply an opinion of his own series, his own internal creation of a series, right?
You're actually so dishonest. So you just made a claim that I was begging the question, and then I called you out on it, and you're trying to move on like you didn't say.
Wait, that's question. I'm saying there's a question being begged. Can you let me? Damn. Anyways, right? So
you won't take accountability.
Fuck. But there's the I forgot what I was gonna ask. Holy shit.
Because you said that I was,
the idea proposed in the series for the author. The idea proposed in the series by the author. Does it still not come from the author's mind?
It doesn't matter. You keep on bringing up.
It doesn't matter that it comes from the author's mind.
I gave you an argument for why it doesn't matter. Why there's not a one-to-one comparison between the author and the narrative and the characters. You repeating yourself is not interesting. It's boring.
Where does the narrative come from?
Where does the narrative come from? Just because it comes from the author, just because he writes it down.
You said there's not a 1-to-1 ratio between the narrative and the author.
It doesn't mean that there's not a disconnect. I already demonstrated.
Okay. I think we all understand 1-to-1 ratios, right? So you said there isn't a 1-to-1 ratio between the author. Hold on. You said there isn't a 1-to-1 ratio between the author and the narrative.
Yes, I demonstrated it.
If the narrative, the entire narrative comes from the author, there would be a 1-to-1 ratio because the author came up with this specific narrative.
I come from my mom. I'm still my own person, dumbass. Like, look, just because somebody originates or sources something does not mean that it's not
analogous coming to the. Hold on, that's completely disanalogous coming from the creation. Hold on.
I already gave you the argument that we could have a book, we can have a story.
That's completely
disanalogous. Stands alone without having any idea what the author's interpretation or opinion is on that.
Okay, that wouldn't change my point. Listen, again, as I said before.
Not acknowledging it. No defeater. No counter.
There's no dodging here. What are you talking about? I literally just attacked your analogy and you tell me I'm dodging it. What, like,
you're not
is that like your favorite word or something?
You just tell me you're wrong, your argument's wrong.
Why did I say you're wrong? What the fuck? Again, hold on, I'm saying this. Right? I don't know where you're getting this weird ass. Anyways,
can you complete
the narrative. Oh my gosh.
Can you complete one sentence?
Hold on.
There's a separation here, right? Between, obviously we agree there's a separation between the internal aspect and the external aspect. We both agree with this, right? But pertaining to the internal aspect alone, ignoring the external aspect for a second, pertaining to the internal aspect alone, which is the author's series, the narrative of this series only comes from the author.
So
it's only created by the author's ideas.
Why does it follow then that he dictates what it means?
What do you mean he dictates what it means? Because okay, I'll put it this way.
Because were you about to say because he created it?
No, oh no, what? Okay, anyways, he can dictate the path the series goes, right? Based on literally whatever ideas he has in his head.
That's not what
Right?
I asked. I asked, why does he
There's
dictate
nothing,
its meaning?
hold on. There's
I asked,
nothing
why does he dictate
external
its
to
meaning?
this in this internal scenario.
So you're just dodging the question again. I didn't ask if he dictates the path that it follows. I asked
Wait, you asked
why
the
does he
question
dictate
while I
its
was
meaning?
mid-explanation, and I didn't finish giving my explanation, so I'm
You
finished giving my explanation.
You answered another question. It's like if I asked you what color is the sky, and you said, well, my shoelaces are. I don't give a fuck, bitch.
Hold on.
Why
Yeah,
does he dictate the meaning?
wait. Again, can you simply give like what I said again? Can you just give your understanding of what I said?
Does everybody notice how he's just dodging the specific question?
No, I just want you to give your understanding of what I said. I want to know if you understand.
I just want you to answer the question. You always run to asking me
I'll answer your
questions.
question. Give me your understanding of what I said.
No, you actually always run to asking me questions. That's why I'm holding your feet to the fire.
Wait, you're the one. You're doing the same thing. I just want to know. Can I have your
point is about the author dictating.
Can you give me my point really quickly?
And you never justify it. Justify. Go on.
Wait, can you give me my point really quickly?
No, just justify the question I asked you. This is what you always do. You always run. You always ask me more questions.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I literally every single time you accuse me. Every single time you accuse me of not. Hold on.
Just interact. Just engage. This is debate 101.
Oh my gosh! Literally, can I wait? Again, hold on. In the beginning of this entire thing, right? There was an entire misconception of you not understanding my point, and I asked you to give me my point, and you gave it wrongly. Hold on.
Your one burden is to prove that the author determines the meaning of the work, and you will not do it. You actually will not do it. Does everybody just notice how he will not do it?
Can I finish? I'm explaining something, and you're not letting me explain something.
If the next words out of your mouth are not, here's how my point is proven that the author dictates the meaning of his story, I don't give a fuck.
So you're gonna essentially force me to explain something that I will explain after I get a specific understanding throughout something. So
yes, I'm gonna force you to prove your argument.
Wait, hold on, wait 1 second. 1 second. Can you wait 1 second, right?
No,
so again, as I was explaining initially, everyone would understand that was in here since the beginning of this, right? I was explaining something, and then I asked you, can you please give me back my point? You refused, and you literally couldn't, because when you gave it back, you gave it wrongly. I said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this.
The reason I wasn't trying to give it back is because it was another.
And you literally gave it after, and then you misconstrued my entire point, and then you gave a wrong analogy pertaining to your misconstrusion. I'm saying now, again, your point again you proposed again is wrong because of a misconstruction.
Ladies, bro.
Can you please?
Can y'all get back to the combo?
My point to me.
I want to get back to the topic. He always goes on these tangents.
We are on the topic. We are on the topic. I'm asking you
topic again. That'd be amazing.
I think. Hold on. I think we're on the topic here. I'm asking you to give back my point to me. I think that's pretty on topic.
No, you went on like a traumatic.
Hold on. Chill out. Hold on. NatNat, I ain't gonna lie. That's just not on topic. That's more meta debating. I think.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, what are you talking? Wait, again, hold on 1 second. All right.
What's up, man?
Again, I'm saying he's asking or he's proposing a point to me. Based on his misconception, I'm telling him there's something you're not understanding within my explanation. That I'd like you to re-give my explanation, the understanding of my explanation.
You need to understand that. You need to understand that.
Same thing previously.
Bro, NatNat, bro, chill real quick. Chill. You need to understand that it's not at all his burden to like explain your argument, right? So even if you ask him to do that, he doesn't have to do it.
No, I know it's not his burden. What I'm saying is
the point was on whether or not the author dictates the meaning of the story, dictates the meaning of his narrative, right? And he asked you, why does the author dictate the meaning of the narrative, or dictate the meaning of the story?
Yeah, I know he asked me that.
And then your response was
I respond to that, and I tell him when he asked me that specific thing. I don't know if you were here. I'll explain to you what happened. I think someone put it wrong.
I don't need you to explain what happened, right? I was here, right? I'm saying like your response to the question was he decides like what path the story takes. That's not a response to the question. The question is like whether or not he can dictate the meaning and how does he do so, right? So what is your opinion on that?
Bro, what do you mean? Okay, so there's probably a misconception on my part as well. What do you mean dictate the meaning for us?
Right. So
yeah, when we're talking about my phone. Yeah, okay. Look, when we're talking about the way in which we interpret the story, like the morals we're supposed to take away, the character interactions and what they're supposed to represent, the characterization and what characters think, what their opinions they hold, what beliefs they have that they think are true, all of those things all compact into the meaning of a story. I'm asking you, why does the author get to dictate that? Why is their opinion on that any more valuable than the average Joe's?
Okay, so you're saying the meaning to the series, the author getting to dictate, if the author could dictate the meaning to the series, if the author could dictate the external understanding or external interpretations of his own series?
I'm saying
you simply just said that based on the morals,
when we all go to read a story, we have interpretations about the characters, their motivations, what they believe, etc. You're essentially proposing that the author has some authority or some privilege that is higher than the rest of us when it comes to interpreting his own work. That's what it means for the author to dictate the meaning of the story.
Misinterpretation comes. That's why I actually I explain this again. Right?
Okay,
the author obviously has no power over the readers. I literally said this. I literally agreed to this in the beginning.
That's not what I said.
When it comes to dictating, you said us as average Joes. Wait, you said us as average. Wait. You just said
let him
average
go.
Joes interpret the series. Hold on, you just said us as average Joes interpret the series, right? And you're asking if the author could dictate the meaning of the series in the sense of that aspect. I'm saying, obviously, no, he can't, because he can't change the external opinions that other people have, or external interpretation that other people have of his own series. His own series, keywords, by the way, right? So, people have interpretations of his interpretation.
Wait.
How did you miss the point so wildly? I don't miss.
I'm saying people. Okay, let's put it this way. Forbes, let's put it this way, right? Okay, so you're talking about the external understanding of a point a specific person has. Let's put it this way.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Let's put it this way. Oh, so you're not talking about the external understanding of the author's series pertaining to his?
No, I don't care if the author can control how other people interpret his story. Okay. I'm saying that you're proposing that the author's interpretation of his own story and its meaning is more credible, more authoritative, essentially more true than the rest of us. That's what I'm asking for justification on. Very obviously. I don't know how you got that.
I didn't one. What I said was, there's a word in the series, right? I'll put it this way. A person makes a point, a really clear point, that let's say they say X. A person says this specific thing just as the author makes a series, right? And then this person now says, what I meant was, or for clarification of X is Y, right? And then you come with an interpretation of this specific individual's words and say, well, my interpretation of that is not Y, it's Z, right? This person would logically have more understanding to what he purported than an external person saying, well, my interpretation of what you said is this, even though you interpreted what you said as this, that's equal to my interpretation of what your interpretation is of what you said.
Not necessarily.
That's completely wrong. That isn't what?
Not necessarily.
Go on.
Yeah, I'll give you like a great example. So like, not to get too political, but there's a lot of uneducated white people out there who make really racially insensitive comments. So they'll say something like, I don't know, they see black people on the news.
Is that not an extreme that doesn't apply to the situation?
No, hold on. I'm making my point. So they see a black person on the news that's committed a crime and they make some comment like, man, those people and their culture, I don't know what's wrong with them. Like they promote such violent shit. Now somebody could tell them, hey man, that's pretty insensitive racially and like misunderstands the issues at hand. Then yeah, that's an instance where somebody didn't understand.
That's something called an extreme, an exception to the rule.
Sorry, hold on. I'm still making my point. That's an instance where somebody didn't understand the full implications and ramifications of what they said, and somebody else who was more educated actually understood it better. So no, I'm not going to grant this weird. I'm not going to grant this weird assumption of yours that every time somebody speaks or writes something down, they inherently have a better, more true opinion of what they said than anybody else. I don't grant that.
That's fine, but again, hold on. That's fine. But again, that's an extreme and an exception to the rule, right?
How is that extreme? That happens every day.
An extreme situation is inherently an exception to the rule based on the fact that one,
that's not an extreme situation. People make racially insensitive comments about meaning to every day. That happens every day.
What?
You know that's not extreme, right? You know people make racially insensitive comments without meaning to every day.
But to the degree at which it is what decides the extremity.
And it's not extreme. You acknowledge it happens every day.
Okay. The average Joe is making insensitive racial comments a day?
A lot of them are, yeah. A lot of people who are in the working class.
Yes,
a lot of people in the working class who don't have
comment today.
Yeah, sorry. Why would you ask a question and not let me answer? Are you fucking stupid? Yeah,
Wait,
a lot
you
of
said
people
a lot of them are. What are you talking about?
Still fucking stupid. You're still interrupting.
You answered the question. You said a lot of them are. Is that not an answer?
Yeah, a lot of them are. As in, a lot of people who are in the working class who are white who do not have time to think of. Sorry, I'm trying to answer your question. Shut the fuck up. So a lot of people. No, you're actually still trying to interrupt. You're actually so fucking terrified.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Hold on, wait. It's fine. You can answer.
Ladies.
I'm trying to make my point. I don't understand why you're such a bitch.
Don't say lady. Say lady. He's the one getting mad at me for what?
You're the one interrupting because you can't
Are you not the one cursing? Are you not the one cursing at me?
Do you need a fucking talking stick?
Guys, let's calm down for a second, right? Because I don't want to be anybody or anything like that, right? Just let him finish his whole answer, then y'all make it continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that there's plenty, and like you can ask like a lot of black people about this. You can ask a lot of racial minorities about this, about their everyday experiences. But there's a lot of people who are working class, who are white, who are uneducated about the way that racism impacts minorities in America. And a lot of these people, especially the older generation, will just flat out make these insensitive comments on a daily basis that do need to be corrected, who don't understand the implications of their words. So even if I accept that it's a valid critique to call this an extreme example, which it's not, it just isn't an extreme example. Calling it extreme doesn't actually defeat the point. So no, you're going to have to engage a little bit better than to just try to hand wave it.
Yeah. Again, as I said before, an extreme is something that falls under the definition of something that's an exception to something. And I said again, which I didn't answer my question, which I said was, this doesn't decide a majority. A majority of individuals do not make sly or racist comments, even working class or minority, just because they experience this doesn't make it a majority. One thing, right? The other thing is now that, again, my point is simply, if X person says, let me think of a better, like a way to make you understand better, since it doesn't seem like you did. Yeah. I'll just say this again. If X person says, if just a person says X, right? They would logically have a better interpretation of what they said, right? Because I mean, why the fuck won't they? Right? They made this specific claim to have understanding on this claim, right? To their understanding, of course, which would be Y, right? And there's another person says, well, no, my interpretation of what you said is Z, right? Because, I mean, I would have a better interpretation or equal interpretation to your own work or your own statement. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay, so really quickly, that's not even how the word extreme is used, by the way. The extreme doesn't refer to the minority, okay? It's not extreme to be disabled just because the minority of people are disabled. It's not extreme to be a Minecraft player. Sorry, you did represent extreme as not being the majority. It's not extreme to be a Minecraft player, even though the vast majority of people on Earth do not play Minecraft. So these are not how we use the words extreme. The fact that you can go out any day. Sorry, you're still interrupting me.
Let him go, bro. Let him go.
Nasty stank ass bitch. I can smell your fucking breath. Listen. I can smell your fucking breath. Shut the fuck up. So as I was saying,
you like what's up with that?
You're still talking. I can still smell your bottom lip.
What's up with that?
Hey, look, because if there's more and more slight remarks, we're never gonna get anywhere. Just chill out.
What's up with the ad-homs? No, like genuinely, this nigga's like, is he like?
I mean, you just are stupid. So shut the fuck up. Maybe I won't sling his
Okay.
I won't say shit if you just be quiet. So look, the fact that you can go out onto social media, or go out on your street, and you could talk to people around you, and you can ask them, hey, have you ever had or experienced insensitive racial remarks? And they would say, yeah, like I have in my life. The fact that that's a common occurrence means that it's not extreme. That's number one. Number two, even if it were extreme, that doesn't actually defeat the point of the hypothetical or defeat the point of the analogy. The point of the analogy is to principally challenge the fact that you can have someone who speaks, who says something, who doesn't even understand what they say as well as somebody else. That's all that's being challenged. So pointing out that that might be an extreme example, which it's not, that wouldn't even defeat the principle of the analogy. That's number two. So you didn't even engage with it on two different fronts. Number three, I don't even understand the point of what you just said at the end there. I think that was the thing that I've been debunking the last 5 minutes. So I'm just going to let my analogy and my response to you stand on its own in this way. So you can go ahead and respond now.
Yeah, so I'll just respond to three first. You think you debunked it, but you didn't. Number one, you don't know what an extreme is. I'll give you an extreme. An extreme, in this case, right, is not the majority. It's not the minority. It comes to specific situations. Let's say someone's arguing for abortion, for example, and they bring up rape. That's called an extreme if you didn't know. Something you learn. You learn every day, right?
Is extreme something that makes you uncomfortable?
Why are you talking over me?
I don't know what you mean by extreme then. Is it just something that makes you uncomfortable?
Yeah, using extreme in the sense, when it comes to the racial stuff, using extreme in an example, let's just normative, right? So you propose a normative thing, right? It's just a casual conversation. And within this casual conversation, you propose an extreme example pertaining to racism, that the racism someone experiences every single day, which in this category, extreme would fall under exception.
So
right?
my argument is wrong because it makes you uncomfortable?
Not essentially, no, because it falls under an exception. An exception doesn't make the rule. Again, I propose the idea that within, let's take abortion, for example. Let's take abortion, for example. Someone proposes abortion, right? Like pro-life, right? And then someone proposes rape, right? Could they abort the baby if they were raped? Someone would propose that's an extreme. There's an exception to the rule, right?
So then the quantity it happens in does matter. You just denied that.
What? What are you talking about? Okay. Oh my gosh.
So then you care about both quantity and the fact that it makes you uncomfortable. So again, number one, you being uncomfortable doesn't matter.
What do you mean I care about quantity?
The quantity happens enough people experience it for it to not be statistically extreme.
How do you decide something? Oh wait, how do specific people decide something is the case?
What does that question even mean?
How do you decide something is the case? You said I value quantity. How does like a group of individuals come to a specific conclusion that something is the case?
Something is the case. I don't know. They investigate it, try to see if they experience it, if they can find other people who
experience it. It's whether it applies generally.
No, that's not what. Just because something.
So how do you think people determine?
So you care about what happens the majority of the time. You lied when you said the majority doesn't matter. So you just lied to all of our faces.
How do you think people determined? How do you think people determined that the sky was blue?
So to be clear, you did just lie because you just said it wasn't about the majority.
I lied?
Now you're appealing to generalities, which does invoke the majority.
What do you think? How do you think? Appealing to majority and appealing to generality. What do you think the difference is?
Yeah, sorry. Generality and majority cover the same topics. If something happens in general,
exactly,
that means it happens.
That's the point.
Okay, so then you are appealing to the majority. So when you said majority,
the majority would be at consensus in this specific argument. What are you talking about?
So you lied a few minutes ago.
Would a majority not be at consensus in this specific argument? What are you talking about?
Sorry, is what I'm saying not getting into your skull. I asked you earlier.
Wait, you're the one not understanding what majority is. What are you talking about?
You were the one who said earlier.
Majority plus had consensus in that specific argument. What the fuck are you arguing?
When I asked you what you meant by extreme, I accused you of basically appealing to the majority. You said no. I'm not talking about the majority. I'm talking about.
When I said extreme, I said exception to the rule. Exception to the
rule. Wait. Calm down.
Yeah, when I said extreme, so I'll give it in a way you probably could understand. Extreme exception. Okay, so if a person,
I'm not stupid.
Let me put it in monkey terms here. Let me put it in monkey terms.
Monkey terms.
An extreme falls under the idea. An extreme falls under the category of exception.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So we're gonna have to restart. One of you go at a time. I'm gonna flip a coin. NatNat, your heads.
Why not just let NatNat go?
Okay. NatNat, go. Shit, Forks. You can talk after. Please be quiet.
Oh no, I'm good, bro. This shit is fucking horrible. You can say I don't know if it was a debate, but you can say it's a fucking concession. This shit is absolute fucking garbage.
You're actually so mad. So you did just
your ass.
You did lie earlier when I asked you.
You are fat booty. You didn't understand anything I said. What are you talking about?
When you said majority, you weren't talking about the. Sorry, when you said extreme earlier, you said you weren't talking about the majority there. You were just talking about if it made you uncomfortable or if it felt weird to introduce in a casual conversation.
So, and then you did not say nothing about being.
I did not say nothing like that. That's how dumb this nigga is. Y'all, there's a recording to this. Hold on, wait, y'all. Someone put a recording. I thank the person that put a recording here. Get the recording. And I want the smarter people in here to watch and see if I implied anything like